Boston Bob, born Robert Luisi Jr. on April the 21st, 1961 in Boston's North End, was introduced to the American Mafia, or La Cosa Nostra, from an early age. His father, Robert Luisi Sr., was an enforcer and proposed member in the Boston faction of the Patriarca crime family, named after longtime boss of the family, Raymond Patriarca Sr. Although Bobby was practically born into the life, he set out to carve a different path for himself, becoming a successful contractor, building several homes on Martha's Vineyard. All was well until a pivotal moment in the early 1990s changed everything. The housing market crashed and completely crushed his construction company. Out of work and with mouths to feed, Bobby went into the family business for himself. Or as Bobby says, I put a gun in my back and hit the streets. With the Luisi name already known on the streets, Bobby was able to organize a crew and move into gambling, loan sharking, and drugs, and quickly became a millionaire and a powerhouse in his own right. By this time, the boss of the family was Cadillac Frank Salimi. Bobby, now a proposed member of the Patriarca family and ally in the Salimi faction, found himself in the middle of a mob war with other factions in the family not happy with the current boss. Even at one time in 1994, Bobby had a dispute with his own father, which resulted in an altercation between both Luisi crews that left a guy in Bobby Jr.'s crew beat up and shot. 1 year after this altercation, a tragedy would fall upon the Luisi family when on November 6, 1995, Bobby's father, brother, cousin, and another man were gunned down in the 99 restaurant in Boston's Charlestown by an opposing faction, leading some in recent years to suspect Bobby possibly having a hand in the murder of his own family, although these allegations have never been proven. With the ongoing turmoil in the Patriarca family, with some men in prison and others dead, Bobby was left as the last man standing. In 1998, with little expectations of becoming a made man in that family, Bobby reached out through a friend to New York and eventually to Philadelphia, where he would be introduced to George Borghese and the boss of the Philadelphia family, Skinny Joey Merlino. Bobby would become a made man in the Philly family and quickly promoted to Capo Regime, or captain, making him a boss and a force to be reckoned with back in Boston. Bobby would have a good run, making millions of dollars loan sharking, bookmaking, and from drug sales. It was around this time he would be introduced to a Philadelphia turncoat named Ron Previty, who would eventually lead to the downfall of Bobby Luisi. It was also around this time that Bobby would have an experience that would lead to a major change of heart when it came to the direction of his life, a spiritual experience that led Bobby back to church, where he would eventually give his life to the Lord. Bobby, who was now a born-again Christian and still an active captain on the streets, was conflicted daily between honoring the Mafia and honoring God. As fate would have it, Bobby would be arrested in June of 1999 on cocaine charges after the Philly turncoat and FBI informant Ron Previty wore a wire and recorded Bobby discussing cocaine trafficking. Bobby was convicted and went off to do his time. During his stay in prison, Bobby received word that former crew members were lining up to testify against him and implicating him in an unsolved murder. It was then that Bobby said, quote, "I didn't want to be a pincushion anymore," and decided to talk to the feds and cooperate, although the deal would eventually fall apart. Bobby was released from prison in 2013 and relocated to Memphis, Tennessee under the name Alonzo Esposito as part of the Witness Protection Program. He became a pastor in a local church and remained in Tennessee for 5 years. Eventually, Bobby was able to get his name back, and in 2018 returned to Boston, where he continues his ministry and hosts the Bobby Luisi Show on YouTube. And about to release a book about his life titled from capo to Christian. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to American Made.